Today is today is Thursday, September 11th. We had news at 8:30, CPI and unemployment claims. Let me show you. So, CPI for all urban consumers increased 0.4% on a seasonally adjusted basis in August, after rising 0.2% in July. The all items index increased 2.9% before seasonal adjustment. But then for unemployment claims, I think there was an increase in unemployment in unemployment, um, which still continues the thought of rates getting cut this September. So I'm going to show you how it affected the charts. Let's get into it. So here was that 8:30 news. Unemployment's higher than expected, and price makes this large candle, bearish candle. And from yesterday into today, last night we had this, or yesterday into last night, we had this downtrend. And then, so yesterday we had pushed all-time highs, but then into today, in the Asia session and the London session, we just continued this uptrend, and we're pushing all-time highs. So the market is healthy, still in a bull market, but we had that 8:30 news candle, and then price recovers, and now is pushing all-time highs. So we broke structure to the upside without retracing back down. Likely wouldn't have even gotten into this trade, into this setup, even if I were to be trading. So, and if you don't know, I'm not trading for the month of September because I made the commitment to just stay on the sidelines and get some market experience while stacking my capital. So, specifically, why not trading S&P 500 or NASDAQ is because for the month of September has typically been the month where the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ performs least optimal, and conditions become least optimal. For example, when I go back on the charts all the way to, let's say, last September, even the September prior to that, the month of September generally produces a bearish month where it is usually negative 1%. And if you don't know, the S&P 500 yearly produces about 10%. So September would be one of those bearish months. And I haven't experienced a September yet. So I really have more to gain. And I don't really have anything to lose, but why would I not? I don't know. It's a long story. This is how I'm feeling. So I don't know. I'm just not. I made the commitment on. I think it was on Monday, and I feel like I'm benefiting off of it, honestly. So other moves that I've made during, uh, I guess from last video, I sold my quantum computing. I sold that stock, and then I purchased Palantir. The reason that I did this was so originally the reason that I was in the quantum computing, why I was in that position, was because I wanted to know what stocks would be affected when rates get cut. And I did some research in quantum computing tech companies. They seem to get a positive effect after rates get cut. More money when rates get cut, money's borrowed at a lesser price, at a lesser rate, and then that makes it easier to be that makes it so there's more money within the market. There's more money out there. If it's easier to get borrowed, more people are going to borrow more money. So, with this being said, tech tech companies are deeply influenced by public investment. When I did the research as far as technical analysis, it made sense. When I go back to the last time rates were cut, and if I'm going to let me just show you, for example, a company like Palantir. Last time rates got cut was like December 18th. Let me see. What was the last time rates got cut? September 18th, 2024. Smaller cuts in November. And then again in December. So, to the charts. September 18th, was it? So even in the past, Palantir was steady, but then you see rates get cut September 18th. Now there's a lot of variables that go into play here. What if it's not entirely the rates getting cut that directly correlated with Palantir's price increasing? I understand there's lots of variables and this could be a stretch, but just bear with me. So rates get cut on the 18th. Dates in which rates were cut. September 18th. So September 18th, November 7th, December 18th. Okay. September 18th. November 7th. Price starts drastically increasing. And then December 18th, was it? and we make this all-time high. And then the last date was January 31st. Come on. Come on. I bet there was a lot going on, but I'm seeing this pattern within. I saw this within the quantum computing company. You see this within not XRP but Nvidia. First day was September 18th. So prior to that, Nvidia was a known company for just doing for fucking doing awesome. But doing awesome being top of their industry is what I mean in bro terms. So rates get cut on September 18th. Again, there's a lot of variables that go into this. To say it's entirely the rates being cut for their price to increase, they're already a great company. Rates getting cut just furthers their company in and of itself. So September 18th, and then we saw September 18th, November 7th, December 18th. November 7th, not a drastic increase at all. December 18th, well, I guess it is since it's all-time highs, which is that's special. So, and then January 31st. January 31st, and price keeps rising, but then falls. Did you see even Microsoft? Damn. Microsoft is already a great company, by the way. So, you see, September 18th, making all-time highs. Or no, not all-time highs, sorry. We're making a rally up to all-time highs. Over the course of the months, not essential, because it's not quantum computing that they're focused on. Neither was really Nvidia. So then we go to quantum computing. This was one that I saw. And you say, well, what happened back here? December 18th. That's what I'm looking at. And then the talks of rates getting cut again. There's a lot of variables that go into it, but these dates seem aligned. We have S&T. Price made a higher high. I mean, S&P 500 made a higher high. NASDAQ made a lower high. There's no retrace. No retrace. Straight uptrend. Straight uptrend, and then yo, I was watching Breaking Bad, and Jesse and Walt, they're at a Denny's, and that boy Jesse's eating some breakfast plate of like pancakes, sausage, bacon, eggs. That shit looks so good. When I get Denny's bread on my when my returns start allowing me for Denny's money, come on now. I'm excited for that. I want to see Tesla during that time when rates got cut. September 18th, November 7th. Yeah. So maybe not on September 18th did they really they continued their uptrend. Oh man, that would have been, yeah, that's awesome. So then November 7th, price starts jumping. December 18th, price reaches its peak. Tesla reaches its peak ever. It was December 18th when the rates got cut. That's wild. So if anything, I should be in Tesla. I gotta invest some in Tesla. I will buy some Tesla. When I have the bread, I will. All right, y'all boys. Tomorrow we have consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. and inflation expectations 10 a.m. As we predicted earlier in the week, or as we foresaw earlier in the week, that there would be a lot of news coming up, a lot of anticipation. With that being said, I truly felt like taking a step back while still sitting in the seat was essential, is essential, because I'm starting to ask different questions that I wasn't asking before. And I'm starting to understand differently what I didn't really understand before. I'm trying to think about this further in the long term, but I'm kind of seeing that it's like probably the point along the timeline in which a trader starts to realize things are a little bit different than he thought when getting into it. Different for various reasons, being, for example, like what is actually realistic in our expectations along the timeline as far as distance to each milestone is a lot further than I thought when getting into it. Um, you would like to think you have more control than you actually think you do, but this goes for anything. And as far as calculated risk, you just need to wait. You just need to wait. That's all I'm thinking. You just need to wait. We're in a bull market right now, that's obvious, but we haven't experienced what it's like in a bear market, so I got nothing to lose. I could die tomorrow. Therefore, I'm doing my best today. So, catch y'all boys on the next one. I'm not really stressing over the. So, gotta update. I gotta update y'all boys. Yesterday, I was like, went to an apartment, saw that. Um, I just gotta close all these windows. My computer's getting so hot. So, saw the apartment. Great apartment. Great fit. That's what I'm gonna do. Going to that one, I've applied to it. That's what I'm planning on doing. Moving out by the 30th, likely by that like next week or the week after. But I'm feeling good. I've been obsessed playing with chess, playing chess. I'm about to go eat breakfast. Y'all say that. Y'all see that beard? That shit. I gotta shave, but I think I'll work today. We'll see. But just gotta ensure that my credit stays great. So then, when the time is right, I can make it happen. Take the risk, the calculated risk.